Expedition 33 is a masterpiece. Marvelous game with 55 achievements, being released on April 24th, and a glorious and well-deserved, overwhelmingly positive on Steam, with an amazingly fun turn-based combat. A game that was also made by the French, so we can no longer ignore their existence. Sorry viewers, but regardless of that, this game is a masterpiece. So let me warn you that this video will spoil it, and it's truly amazing to play for yourself. So this will be my obligated spoiler warning. So please leave this video and play it for yourself. Alright, the rest of the expeditioners are staying. Let's continue with our expedition. We start the game on a broken worldview with a broken Eiffel Tower in sight, with our next view on a man standing off into the distance with a monolith in sight with a number of 34 painted on it. And with our view, we're introduced to two characters we'll come to know very well, Gustave and Maëlle. Maëlle mentions a flower to give to someone as she looks at Gustave, with quite the witty joke on standby.
You should probably do it before they wither and die.
What, the flower? Or Sophie?
We learn of a past lover named Sophie, someone to give flowers to. But with not enough time to waste, we grab the flower and move onward, taking my first screenshot of many. But with many breathtaking views, we're introduced to the marvelous turn-based combat, fighting against Maëlle. So this is a good time to talk about the rules. First with the battle wheel, with 4 options: aim, items, skills, and attack. Most options require the usage of AP, a point system we get by doing basic attacks and or parrying. Next is the time wheel, just a basic turn-based diagram, nothing too crazy. We also get introduced to the basic skills that we start with those being Lumiere Assault and Overcharge. First starting with Overcharge. Overcharge is our ace card, being able to deal massive damage with the cost of a little bit of a setup. For us to use the ability at full strength, we have to gain 10 charges. The ability of Lumiere Assault will help us get Overcharge ready. With the setup done, we win against Maëlle and move onward. We then begin talking to a girl with a necklace of flowers. We hand over the flowers we grabbed and begin to talk to her, with tension of past lovers still in the air. Sophie then asks us to head to the harbor for the life-changing sunset, so we walk. Yet before we make it, we click a fight in mind, and with these gamer skills we obtain 3 achievements in one go. Those being Overcharge for using the ability and breaking an enemy's stance, Time to Spill Some Ink for breaking an enemy, and a peculiar enemy for winning against the Mime and Lumiere. With our victory, we receive our first of many music discs, needed for an achievement later down the road. Now we make it to the end of the harbor, knowing the gamage will happen shortly. We stare off into the distance, towards the monolith and a creature lying dormant. Yet, the motionless creature begins moving, standing from where it once was, and motioning towards the number. With the wave of its hand, the creature known as the Paintress removes the number of 34. And replaces it with 33. With the number now changed and with one last moment together, Sophie begins to fade away, slowly. Yet she is not alone. Others fade away around her. With one last loving stare, she erases away. Nothing left behind besides the deafening silence. We next start back on the harbor with fellow expeditioners around us, trying to make the situation better with our journey soon on the horizon. As the people who will gamage in a year of time, we can make one last effort to change everything. We can make one last effort to kill the Paintress and end this yearly cycle of our loved ones fading away. Before the journey starts, I begin talking to some people, solving a historical quiz on my first try without having to look up any answers, I swear. We receive our festival token, and with it, I buy an old key, needed for the future, and thank the lords that this is the only missable achievement in the game. With that, we hear our last speech of inspiration and begin to head out amongst the waters as Expedition 33. We eventually reach the rocky lands, with our feet hitting the rocks. Yet even in this silence, a thumping rings out and we can see a figure walking towards us, an older man well over the age of 34.
You're old. How did you survive the Gommage? Which expedition are you from? Fall back!
Explosions go on around us, with many comrades losing their lives, and despite everything to escape, it becomes a futile attempt, with a horrific creature striking us down. We next wake up in the rocky landscape within a forest. Our current goal is to find any survivors and make it to our recon point, so we begin running until our first real combat begins. Learning how aiming works, every shot we make deals some damage at the cost of an AP per shot, and since we have the power of a gun, we can hit some creatures' weak points and do some massive damage. We also get through the fight hitless and continue the running, next running into a field of our dead comrades and a tree only containing death. Can we really keep going? After everything?
You do that, we both die.
A woman calls out to us. We are now introduced to Loon, a fighter who specializes in elements, and it's a good time to put them in practice since the fight starts right off the bat. While this goes on, I can explain Loon's mechanics. First, starting with Loon's stains. She can gain elements by doing specific skills and putting them into the wheel chart. There are 5 different elements: ice, fire, lightning, earth, and light. Within the skills, you're able to enhance them with certain stains, making them much stronger while consuming the needed stains. Light stains act like a wild card and can be used for any state. Otherwise, it acts very similar in combat. We then win the combat and obtain our first Picto, Dodger. Pictos kinda act like passive abilities that you can equip to any character, so this is a good start to our journey. Next on the explaining compilation is the skill tree. The more we level up, the more skill points we earn and more skills we can unlock. The first one I buy is Powerful for Gustav and Healing Light for Loon. With our upgrades, we fight the first boss, Chromatic Lancier. This is also where my brain cells collectively decide to make the decision to do this hitless for no reason. And yet, I don't got the skills for that. So with many attempts, I eventually win the boss fight hitless, obtaining Professional. Winning a Picto I'll use the entire game. After the battle, we find our first friendly Moron, the enemies we've been fighting throughout the story, while collecting our first of many journals, the Journal of Expedition 81. Next, talking to the friendly Moron, with it requesting light of some kind. With nothing to do, we instantly leave, finding resin and almost making it to the recon point. Yet a lanky tall boy blocks the path, with an easy first attempt using the overcharge to end the fight swiftly in a mighty victory, making it to the recon point. Yet no one's here besides the message written on the wall, giving us the message that they have taken Mael somewhere safer and for us to follow them. Yet before we can leave, the party splits into an argument. Gustav states we should leave and find Mael, and Loon argues that we should stay and follow the protocol. Yet staying can be even riskier with the White Hand Man potentially nearby. So against Loon's judgment, we leave, opening our eyes to the massive world before us, and making it through the spring meadows. Yet rest is needed before we continue onward. We begin to settle at the campsite, a place we'll come to rest and chat many times. We rest and tomorrow arrives. We then arrive into flying waters, with us finding our first paint cage, a little paint orb that requires us to shoot 3 smaller paint orbs to open it up. With the 3 shots done, it opens up and we get paint cage. We next make it to the location that the note mentions. A unique door shows itself and we walk through, into the lavish looking manor. Exploring the manor, we find ourselves nothing but locked doors and long halls, yet we do find an open door, while finally being able to reunite with Mael. Much celebration happens, yet this is short-lived when a faceless creature finds us. For Mael's statement, he's friendly. He walks, and we follow. Before we leave, the Faceless blocks our path and we enter combat, learning the Faceless is the curator. With Mael now on our team, we learn her combat mechanics, first starting with her stances. We first start in the stances state, nothing special, just flint. Hey, just like my skills. The first actual stance is the defensive stance, reducing incoming damage by 50% and allowing us to gain AP from dodging and parrying. Next is the offensive stance, giving us a 50% damage boost and 50% damage received increase. Next and final stance is the virtual stance, granting us the ability of 200% damage increase. Whoa! Being in certain stances can enhance our skills and give us better benefits. With the new character learned, we win the fight and leave the manor, finding ourselves a little gestural named Noko. With his aid, we have our next destination in sight, the Gestural Village. Yet I'm not done with this area. We find another friendly Nevron and aid this one, handing him a bomb. And not getting killed in the process for whatever reason. But we get handed a nice weapon for loan and progress for the achievement aiding the enemy. We pick up another journal from Expedition 68 and enter a field with a flower within the center of it. Yet picking it up costs us quite greatly, getting us into a boss fight against the Goblo, a massive chunky creature. The fight goes on and becomes quite rough, to the point where Loon gets knocked out. Yet we win on the first attempt and become victorious, finally leaving Flying Waters. Yet we're back at the campsite. Maëlle and Gustave begin chatting and come to the agreement of a promise. If they ever encounter the white-haired man, they run, no matter what. With the promise now set, we upgrade our weapon for the first time and obtain weapon upgrade, while also doing the first of many optional camp scenes and receive Curious. We then rest and the expedition moves onward right after. While running towards the next destination, I quickly obtain Synergy
Red trees everywhere.
for getting an enemy marked and using Pierce as Maëlle in the virtual stance. I then decide to do a quick 180 and run all the way back to the first friendly Nevron and complete his quest. Now with that done, we finally enter the red lustrous forest of Ancient Sanctuary. While walking along the path, I encounter the unsettling mine once again, and this fight is rough, being just barely able to win the fight against it, with my main man Gustave. He's now officially my top G-man. Damn the others. After that unsettling mine battle, we're thrown into another boss battle against the Gestral's ultimate weapon, the Ultimate Psychopata, an enormous creature holding a massive shield with cannons welded on top of it. And to be honest, I want the shield, but sadly, that's not possible, even with me being able to shoot it off. The fight goes a bit rough, but we win, and leave Ancient Sanctuary. Now entering the Gestral Village. Many chats happened between the Gestrals and we learned about the Sacred Arena, with a champion named the Stranger. Yet before the glorious fighting begins, we encounter the third journal from Expedition 52. Now let the arena commence, using my main man Gustave to fight through wave after wave after wave, until we reach the final fighter, the champion of the arena, avidly named the Stranger, yet it's a human, another survivor of the expedition. Yet not much discussion is allowed between us since the show must continue onward. I choose my main man and come out victorious. After the battle, CL joins the party and we get a practice battle with her. CL can apply the effect Foretell for a maximum of 10 per enemy, learning that skills that generate Foretell make sun charges and skills that consume Foretell generate moon charges. If we're able to have both a moon and star charge upon our next turn, we enter the Twilight state for 2 turns. During the Twilight state, we gain the ability to double Foretells, maximize the Foretell amount from 10 to 20, and damage is increased for every moon and sun consumed. That's how she runs. This would also be a good time to mention from this point onward that I kicked Maëlle out of the party and decided to run with main G Gustave, Loon, and best woman CL. Don't worry, Maëlle does come back onto the team. Eventually. With the new knowledge, I attempt to fight Golgra and get my head kicked in. Twice. Yet it's not entirely in vain since Golgra did give us a direction to go. Since the Paintress lives across the vast ocean, we're not going to be able to reach her without some kind of aid. And we got someone who can help us, the legendary Esquier. Someone who can cross the waters with ease. Our next location is Esquier's Cave. Now leaving the Gestral Village and arriving back at camp, and immediately spending my first color Lumina obtaining Lumina. Now deciding to sleep for the night, yet the night does not go undisturbed. Through the eyes of Maëlle, time suddenly freezes. While everyone's frozen, Maëlle's not the only one unfrozen. We now see a woman in quite the mask. No communication happens between us, yet a connection is within reach before it being cut from the white-haired man. The man states we shouldn't have been here and that will cause more trouble for everyone, commanding us to leave and spend our final year with loved ones, our only warning. Yet we refuse. Much distress goes on around us, yet with nothing to do, tomorrow comes, and I next focus on Loon's own achievement, requiring me to consume stains for 4 turns in a row. With the help of this massive foe, I'm able to get it down and achieve a perfect flow. Now with that done, I say we should take a quick break and play some minigames, and I treat myself with some parkour. After enough failures, I get through it, while also being tasked with a quick math problem, yet that doesn't matter since there is no real answer anyway. But we do get handed the best swimming outfit in the entire game. Gustave's outfit, let's go! We then enter Esquier's nest and meet the most relatable character in the entire game.
Bonjour, mes amis.
Hey, bonjour mon ami.
With his introduction now complete, we ask for his help, and he's more than willing to help us, if we're able to help him in return. Requesting for someone important named Flory, one of SKA's many rocks. To retrieve Flory, we'll have to fight SKA's most dangerous arch-enemy, Francois. So with a quick dash, we find him and he's not quite pleased with us, throwing quite the insult at our skull.
A rock? I am not a rock. Do you have rocks for eyes? You certainly have rocks for brains. I am clearly a turtle.
Alright, I'm done with your shit. Let the fight begin. Strong as ice attack my ass. Alright, never mind. My bad. I'll shut up now. But we do make it through. Somehow. In our hand of the rock. Make it back to SK after a Nova Journal Expedition 66 eating the wrong kind of mushrooms. And handing SK his much needed rock. Now having the legend join our team. However, we've handed the wrong kind of rock and it wasn't even Flory. Flory is apparently in Stonewave Cliffs. Now another destination for us to reach. Now leaving SKA's nest, we move onward. I explore the Yellow Harvest, collect 3 journals, and head out, while running by the Lost Woods and grab Eileen's glass house, while also grabbing a journal on the way to Stoneway Cliffs, yet we rest for the night before heading in. Nothing too crazy happens besides another collection mission being handed us from a Gestural. The Gestural requests us to recover his 9 lost children, and right now we've already found one of them, and we then sleep for the night. With fresh energy, we finally enter the Stony Cliffs, see SK one-shot a giant Nevron, collect 3 journals, obtain maximization with CL by consuming 24 tel on a singular turn during the Twilight state, find another friendly Nevron asking us for 3 lustrous rocks, so after a quick dash around, we make it back and finish his request. From this point, we enter the dark, long hall with nothing but lamps illuminating the way. Deep within the hall, a creature of mass horror lies here, guarding the rock we need. Let the battle begin. We make it through the boss and it crashes down into the rocky waters. With our victory, we hand SK Flory and begin to leave. Yet before leaving, we decide to throw a rock at the paintress just for the road.
Okay.
Yet, it seems we are not alone.
Well, like I always say, it's not about the rock. It's more about...
Gustav.
Run.
The white-haired man shows up once more, and it seems like he can't quite keep our promises. We have to fight. For Mael's sake, we cannot give up. Yet despite our efforts, and even with an overcharge so powerful to break Gustav's mechanical arm, it doesn't do anything. But with one valiant last stand, Gustav falls. Before the situation gets any worse, a man swoops in to save us, allowing us to escape from the cruel man. Back into the camp, the stranger who saved us earlier shows himself again, revealing a name to the face: Ursa. Verso's a man who cannot be killed with the Gamage, same as the white-haired man. Both immortal and can never age. Verso suggests we make it to the Forgotten Battlefield since it's a more direct way to the Paintress, and he knows a perfect spot for Gustav's grave. So we sleep for the night and move on, with Verso now replacing Gustav in the party. Alright Verso, if you're going to be Gustav's replacement, you better be just as good as him, and better. Otherwise I will nuke everything. I was allowed my one and only mental breakdown for the year, so you better be worth it. On that note, let's learn his combat. Verso's decently interesting going off a perfection system. Any damage we do slowly increases the ranks. Dodging and parrying also help increase it, starting from the D rank and the highest rank being S rank. Taking any damage knocks us down a rank, while also being a certain rank strengthens certain skills, while also including damage for every rank increase. With new knowledge, we enter the battlefield and fight our way through, while collecting 2 journals and making it to the sacred graveyard. Yet our path does not go undisturbed. We get intercepted, falling into a bloody floor of death, now having to fight our way out of here. Despite the fight being slightly rough, I make it through victorious. We're then rewarded the best weapon in the game for Verso. This weapon never leaves Verso. Never. But now we're finally able to reach our destination. Many words are spoken and many emotions are given, but we give a proper grave to Gustav, and the expedition continues. We next make the decision to take a quick break and go get some help, needing us to reach Minoko Station, so we do that with no issue at all and find our new friend, Minoko, challenging us to a duel.
Ladies, could I interest you in a duel?
Somehow, I can also relate to him as well. Violence I seek. So let the fight begin! This music fuels me. During the combat, I achieved pure perfection for reaching rank S with Verso. With that perfection, we win the battle. We convince Minoko to join our party with the promise of many combats, and he agrees.
I will never join you again.
There will be a lot of fighting, man.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's true.
There will be a lot of fighting.
Exactly.
Count me in then.
Good.
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 Yes, good.
Giving us our final team of Expedition 33. With our new teammate, we learn his abilities. Minoko is quite the unique character, being able to transform into the Nevrons we kill with their feet. We also have the bestial wheel with 5 different mask kinds. If Minoko's skills match the current mask kind, it gets the upgraded version, unless it's the almighty mask, which then it doesn't matter and it's free damage. If it seems like I'm not really giving much information to this character, that's kinda true. I never use this character until after the end of the game, when I need him for 2 of his achievements, so we'll get to that road eventually. We now leave Minoko Station while grabbing 2 journals and 3 music discs, while also helping a new Nevron with good dodging. Because of our side journey, we have a new objective: to destroy the Painter's heart within the landscape of Old Lumiere. There's a barrier that guards the Paintress. If we can kill the heart, the barrier might fall and we can reach the Paintress quicker. But before that, beach time! Another Nevron we also run across. Now with that done, we enter Old Lumiere, and right off the bat, the team gets split into 2 teams because of damn Minoko. Damn you, Minoko. Now we have to regroup with the others, which isn't too much of an issue. We'll find the 2 journals across the journey before coming across the manor, supposedly where the Paintress's heart lies. Yet warm welcomes are not what we're greeted with. The white-haired man walks out guarding the manor from us, now learning at this moment that he's named Renoir. Alright, Renoir, you son of a bitch, you're getting out of my way. And this is why I don't have my L on my team. But despite the instant bullet in my knee, I make it through the fight. Yet Renoir has one more trick up his sleeve. In a latch-ditch moment, he makes the manor vanish away from us in the blink of an eye. Same goes for Renoir himself. With that heavy defeat, we make it back to the campsite. To soften our wounds, we do have one more way to make it through the barrier, but it's going to require some major battles. The Axons. Axons are quite the mighty creatures, but if we can kill 2 out of the 3 of them and hand over their chroma to the curator, it's theorized he can make a weapon able to pierce the barrier and allow passage through. Another chance. We need to keep going. So we sleep, wake up and head towards Serene, while grabbing 4 journals from many areas, finding 3 lost gestrels and a music disc in the meadows. We also decide to play one more beach game, yet the God of Misery must have made this minigame since it takes me way too long to win against this damn rafts. But eventually, with enough determination, I achieve a glorious victory, and with one more random battle, we reach level 33 while being an expeditioner. Now with all that sidetracking done, we enter Serene. Amongst the beautiful landscape, we can see the Axon that lives here face to face, playing the most loving of music, almost too lovely. If we're not focused, we'll fall under her spell and dance forever, so we gotta get through with much haste. With CL's weapon, we get through many of the enemies with little resistance. 2 journals are obtained while fighting through 2 relatively easy mini-bosses, but we make it to the first Axon and fight it head on. The boss fight is a bit rough, sending me back to the gulag several times. I could have made this fight much easier if I used the anti-charm pick though in the fight, but I'm too damn lazy to set this up. So with enough stubbornness and the smooth brain, we do achieve a victory, bringing down the first Axon. Halfway there, we make it to the campsite once again, getting ready for the second fight. But before then, Vorcel and Miel have a bonding moment, giving us a music disc. After that, another beach game is what I decided to complete, before entering a sinister cave and adding onto the music disc collection, while grabbing the journal from the expeditioners before us, mentioning Gustave once more. With that, we enter the second Axon's territory, Visages. The land is much more unsettling than beautiful, with faces scattered among the walls. Let's keep our guard up and make it through here. Despite our careful steps, the second Axon shows himself, yet he does not fight head on, instead inviting us towards the one of 4 paths. It's then suggested we travel the other 3 paths, and so I make the decision to do so, before getting crushed by the Axon. Each path contains its own realm of personality. Each mask needed to be destroyed. The mask of sadness, the mask of anger, and the mask of joy. Each battle containing its own mechanic needing me to overcome them, which I do with ease. By the end of it, we collect 3 journals, one of those being 69. Nice. And one from a door leading into the manor once more. Now we walk down the path we were invited on earlier, a path of much traversal and many landscapes. But eventually we meet the Axon and the battle starts. Even with its many masks of emotions forced upon us, the battle is nothing at all. A bit too easy.
People want so badly to know what's behind the mask. Front, back, recto, verso. Great art is both window and mirror. Whether it's your mask or theirs.
Now fighting against the Mask Keeper, and due to our actions of breaking the 3 previous masks of emotion, none show up to aid the Keeper, and despite the second chance, the Keeper goes down as the second Axon. We leave and meet the Curator once more, and with both Axons given to him, and with enough power and patience, a sword is created from him, a barrier breaker, given to Mael. Now with the weapon needed in hand, we set sail towards the barrier, buying a music disc along the way, but we make it, an endless barrier blocking our final path, and our final goal. But with the help of Mael and a single almighty strike, the barrier shatters. So with a final dash, we enter the monolith. Now with the Paintress in view, we can't turn back. The Paintress is within rock range. We make our final approach and the battle begins. And yet, something's off. None of our attacks are doing anything against her. Amongst the battle, time freezes once more, and through Mael's eyes, we can see a figure in the distance. Something similar to the Curator, yet different. With no words spoken, she opens a rift, almost as if she's luring us in. With no options right now, we follow through the rift, leading us inside the monolith. Upon exploration, we find a journal and a door back into the manor, with another journal and disc in it. The inside of the monolith is a mesh of everything we fought through, from area to area to area. This will not stop me from ending this suffering. We then enter a room which seems to contain a black hole within the air, and our path is blocked once more. The man we once feared for everything, and now will give everything to kill him. Even if he's immortal, we will make it through him. Quick pause, let's just listen to this banger. Thank you. Anyway, back to the battling. We make it through the first phase, and phase 2 is slightly more difficult. Yet I will not let this old frick get away from killing Gustav. He will suffer for everything. We get our final hit on him and he goes down. Yet he's not dead. At this moment, the Curator shows up out of nowhere and helps Mael, giving guidance to her and just Thanos snapping a wave in war, giving Gustav rest from his killer. Just who is this damn Curator? But with the final block out of our way, we meet the female Curator face to back, as she stares off into the distance. While now learning that she is the Paintress, we can finally end this once and for all. Just one more battle. Despite the main team going down, the reserve team is able to pull it together and win the battle from within the depths of failure. Or so I thought. Yet I go back in, break through the first phase, and win against the second one. Even if it's only with one man standing, the paintress falls to the ground, and with the help of Mael, she gamages her away. With the imminent death now weighed off our shoulders, we plant our flag down onto the monolith, and with no higher being controlling our lives, no more paintress. We head back to Lumiere. Upon making it back, many celebrations go off around. A truly monumental moment for everyone, even with such highs and with such lows. This is something that's been worth nothing. Everyone begins to fade away from us. Everything we've done was for nothing. We wake up as Mael or Alicia, or both, whoever we might be. We get out of bed and into we begin exploring the familiar manor, now entering what seems to be a painter's room, with two people frozen in front of the most massive and warping painting. They don't seem responsive at all, but we do hear another voice, another woman named Clea, giving us this earth-shattering information that the world we've been in for so long is nothing but fake, nothing but a painting we've been able to enter and live in, and that the mother and father have been fighting within the painting for days, put into a forever stalemate. The mother is trying to hide and run from everything, hiding within the painting, while the father tries to end this and destroy the painting. We also learn that the Verso within the painting is not real, someone who's just built from the memories of the mother. Verso had died in a fire a while back, being the reason why Alicia is so scarred and can't speak at all. We now begin to learn what's going on. Our family grieving far beyond what they should be. We make a decision to help get mother and father out of the painting by jumping in ourselves. As we now know that Alicia is Mael. Alicia is the real version, while Mael is the paintress version. Upon entering, something goes wrong. Instead of keeping our memories, we instead lose them all to the winds of the painting, giving us the reason why Mael is the way she is. The act opens into Lumiere with a white-haired woman walking and sitting down next to Verso, revealed as Mael reborn. Chatting happens between them, whether we should let the painting be destroyed or left standing. Verso is on the side of destroying while Mael wants to keep it standing. Mael thinks if she can convince the real Renoir to stop destroying, everything will be okay. So with nothing left, we can at least try. In the center of Lumiere, the curator reveals himself as the real Renoir. Much care is given between Mael and Renoir, while apologies are given to Verso for the pain of everything, stating Renoir will make this right, a choice that they both might agree on. But Mael refuses to let this happen, but there's nothing she can do. Renoir begins the end of this painting's world. With numbers too many against us, SK swoops in and gets us out of here. We escape back to the campsite. Mael begins to bring the team back from the Gamage with her powers. Many failures happen, but with Verso's help, the others return. Much discussion happens between everyone. Trusts broken, hopes return, lives shattered. But amongst everything, a plan is formed to fight against Renoir and fight for what we believe. One thing I forgot to mention is the chroma. Every corpse we find has a small amount of chroma within them, something Mael can take full advantage of. We can make an army of our own. From this point on, I changed my team up with Verso, Ciel, and Mael, getting rid of Lune on my team. So with the new team set up, we make it back to Lumiere, with an army behind us. Tomorrow comes, and we advance onward, getting another Lumiere music disc, which will probably have no effect on the achievement count, while also getting stopped by another monster of Renoir's creation, a monstrous thing. Despite my effort, this thing is quite the powerful creation. It takes me far too many attempts, but eventually, we are able to bring it down. After that hurdle, we make it to Renoir himself. One last attempt is made to stop destroying the painting. Still, he won't listen to us. So one last battle against him is what we have to do, to stop the world from ending. With one last strike from Mael, Renoir is defeated. With this one last heartfelt discussion, we now understand the destruction of the real Verso's death. The pain, the heartache, and everything now broken. With Renoir's defeat, he gives us what we're asking for, leaving the painting as is. As long as we promise to leave the painting eventually. We state that we will, and Renoir fades away. After Renoir, Verso enters the realm and sees a little boy painting. As Verso approaches, he talks to the boy, ready for this world to end. Yet Mael disagrees. We can't just destroy everything we've been fighting for. Verso can't keep going on, being a fake Verso, causing all the pain he has through this painting, while Mael can't go back. The painting has become our world. The real world is nothing but a living ghost of nothing. So we now have to make the most important choice of the entire game. Who do we side with? Mael or Verso? Who to choose? Depending on what I choose, I feel like I might get assassinated. But I pick Mael. Feel bad for her. For everything we've been working for, just for it all to be destroyed? I can't let that happen. I'm sorry, Verso. You've been my main man, but I can't let you destroy this world. Even with our victory, this doesn't seem like one. Verso doesn't want to keep going. I'm sorry, Verso. I'm truly sorry. The cutscene opens again like the opening once more, and in an open stage with everyone back. Even the best man, Gustav, is back. Yet, something's off once more. Maybe this isn't the ending I was hoping for. Maybe Verso was right. Even though we've reached the end of this journey, we're not done yet. Far from it. Many collectibles to grab and bosses to fight. So right off the complete bat, we collect 4 music discs, find ourselves a lost gestural, and come across a flying casino. Time for some gambling! Despite the casino, we actually can't gamble at all, while also getting my ass kicked by a flying snake. I next enter the Falling Leaves. While there, I collect 2 journals and 2 more music discs, and fight a custom boss that lives here. A boss that wasn't too bad, and I win on my first attempt. Now leaving Falling Leaves and entering the fountain, grabbing a journal while we're here, we also do talk to a friendly Neveron, and for our aiding efforts get handed a mountain of color Illumina. He's also not the only Neveron we find. After donating enough chroma, the Neveron thanks us and we're once more closer. Another Neveron is found in the floating cemetery. Another disc is grabbed, and I make a decision to fight against Sprong. This boss can give us one of the most powerful pictos in the game, that being Cheater, allowing us to have 2 turns instead of 1. This boss is quite the problem, taking several hours for me to defeat, but eventually, we kill it and gain Sprong. After that, I decided to take a quick break and talk to every character in the campsite, building up their relationship and going through some very emotional discussions. I don't really want to spoil them, so I'm not going to say anything about them, but we build a relationship with everyone. For Ciel, Loon, Eskie, Mael, and Minoko, reaching their max level and unlocking their 3rd gradient attack, which I'll explain this ability later. We also get 1 more achievement from Eskie for obtaining every single one of his rocks, getting Plane, Train, and Submarine. We also fight some bosses and grab a journal from Expedition 46 and 3 music discs. After that, we explore within the Frozen Heart, and right before fighting the boss that guards this place, I make the decision to try and drip out my team. Now we're ready. This boss isn't too bad and it's pretty much a pushover. The next point of interest is within the Reacher, where the 3rd axon lies. While I'm here, I grab a journal and unlock Chroma Proficiency, which requires me to do a level 3 gradient attack. Gradient attacks are just super moves that you can pull up by using skills and building this bar up. This bar has 3 separate levels. Level 3 obviously being the best. So while fighting this mime, I'm able to build it up and use End Slice from Ciel. After that, I do get Trailbreaker for reaching level 66 and beating this stupid flying enemy. I next hunt for the rest of the missing Gestrals, with me only missing 3 of them, and get Lost Gestrals. Speaking of Gestrals, I also knock out my last missing Gestral game and obtain Gestral games. while grabbing a journal on the way out. I then decide to fight the massive flying snake. This boss really destroys how my characters operate, making my AP a double-edged sword. So after a quick reconstruction of my team, and after some careful planning and strategic plays, the snake goes down and we receive Aeon. For also winning the boss fight, we earn a perfect chroma catalyst, with which we're able to upgrade Versio's sword to its max proficiency, getting weapon mastery. Next up is aiding the enemy, with me only missing 2 of them, so with a quick run around the world, we complete aiding the enemy while grabbing a journal along the way. I then decide to do some cleanup and focus on the remaining journals, while also collecting the Giga Chad Journal 60, true Giga Chad energy, while also hopping from land to land collecting many journals, until we're 1 journal short of the achievement, being locked behind the hardest boss fight in the entire game. But we'll get to that hell eventually. So for now, let's keep going. My next goal is to complete the Painting Workshop's mystery, requiring me to jump through 3 separate paintings and complete their parkours while talking to the painter boy and receive a piece to the lamp master from each realm. We also have to grab a family photo from a flying island for later use. This is also the easy part of the quest. Fighting the Giga Chad version of the lamp master is a different story entirely. I struggle on this boss fight for an ungodly amount of time, but eventually, being the stubborn moron I am, I win the fight and solve the problem obtaining Noir de Blanc. Now it's time for some music after that, collecting every music disc that I've previously missed. So we do that with only 2 missing, one from the Endless Tower on the last stage, and one I'll pick up in Renor's draft later on. While mentioning the Endless Tower, that's next on our list. A tower containing almost every enemy possible in the entire game. The tower contains 11 stages and each stage containing 3 trials. This is also where I switch out CL with Minoko. This is a good chance to get every foot in the game. Most of the tower goes well until you reach the Wretched Stage 5 Trial 3. This one battle halts my entire progress. The chromatic aberration, for whatever reason, this specific one, I just can't figure out. But eventually, damning it for how stubborn I am, I make it through. The rest of the stages aren't just easy cakewalks, however, but they're not as bad. A few mentions I'll point out being Stage 7 Trial 2, Stage 9 Trial 3, Stage 10 Trial 2, Stage 11 Trial 1, and Stage 11 Trial 2. For those ones, they took me several and maybe too many attempts to conquer. While on the grind towards the end, I do get wheel control for using Minoko and using 4 upgraded skills in a row. But we now reach the final boss fight, Painted Love. Broken lovers coming together just to stop me from winning. Yet defeat after defeat after defeat will not stop me. After a slow and grueling battle that takes me 33 minutes, we eventually bring the lovers down, ending the Endless Tower. While also getting Connoisseur? Wait, that's not correct. Oh wait, I think I figured it out. I was supposed to pick up the last one in Renor's draft, but because I picked up 2 Lumiere discs, I got the achievement earlier than expected. Even after the tower, I am missing a few skills from Minoko. So with a quick hunting, that gets sorted, completing the feat collection. While on the way, I kill the Chromatic Parfait, get Carrier Parfait. We next hunt for Clay and her own achievement, entering the Flying Manor. We then meet the boy once more and are tasked to defeat 4 mini-bosses and unlock the massive door. This takes me some time but nothing too much. We then walk through the door and find Clay, and at this point, this boss fight begins to break my stubbornness part, having me required to nail many parries or she just heals any damage that we do, just because of my skill issue and her damn healing ability. I'm done with her shit. So I decided to make my own makeshift one-shot build with my L. And it works too, being able to avoid her bullshit beating Clea. But before being the last and final boss, I decided to grind on getting the levels. And thanks to an exploit in Frozen Heart, it only takes me 20 minutes and every party member reaches level 99, becoming the greatest survivor. We're now on the final 2 achievements connected to one another. The final boss named Simon. A boss with 2 phases, and its second phase having 50 million health, and Simon being able to erase your frontliners. So if you think I'm going to fight this boss fair, hell no, I'm too lazy for this and I don't have enough patience for this. So I look up a proper one-shot build and use it against Simon, and it works, bringing peace at last. And collecting the final journal, getting Fall the Trail. Really bringing this painting to the end of it. Expedition 33 will be a game that will be remembered and honored amongst the gaming community for many, many years. So I give this game 100 out of 10 in mental breakdowns in the fun factor, and an 8 out of 10 in the gamages of difficulty. It earns its difficulty just game-wise, especially from the Endless Tower. The achievements aren't also that bad, but then again, I did cheat on the Clea and Simon boss fights. But nonetheless, it was fun as hell. If this game doesn't get Game of the Year, I will personally cause mass arson everywhere. This game has everything. Characters, combat, music, and everything you can love. I'm personally happy that I played this game, and I will beg others to play this as well. And with that, stay chill and watch some anime.